Welcome back to Let's Introduce Birthright, the Gorgon's Alliance. Last time we looked at diplomacy and we got two vassals, the small land of Rove and the guild, which was Points East Trading, I think. And our lieutenant was Lamian Lemire, and she swore fealty to us. Also, we picked up the Shilshay gem, which increased our bloodline strength from 42 to 52 by 10. Still nowhere close to our domain power, so this is what counts. As far as how much regency you gain each turn is concerned anyway. So now with our increased guild holdings, let's see if we can't collect some hopefully decent taxes. Oh, that wasn't really that good, but still almost a surplus of 30 gold per turn. Let's see what happens.
It's your turn.
Nothing much. We talked a lot about making guilds. Sorry, making trade routes. To do that, we need roads. So I'm going to make a road into the Dwarven realm, because that's got actually a different terrain than myself. These are plains, whereas my Shieldwood, my Elven Wood, is a forest all the way.
You're bidding, my liege?
Now I could start making trade routes, but I can still actually only make trade routes from these two guilds in my own realm, and that's because if I look at my allies in Baruch as Heek, I don't actually. If I look at what I can do is try and look at all the just my holdings. I can turn everything else off and then turn the Shieldwood on, and you can see I don't have any guild holdings in Baruch as Heek. My guild holdings are in Coronis and in Eleni in here. So even though I have an alliance now with the dwarves, I can't. Well, I didn't get any. Points East Trading didn't actually have any guilds in here, so I can't set up a trade route from, say, Chalcedon, where I do have a guild holding, and there's also a road now that goes from there into my realm. But since I don't have an alliance with Eleni, I can't set up any trade routes there. So I'm just going to turn everything back on. What I can do is set up trade routes from my own realm. I'm also going to build a few more roads, just because, well, for one thing, because it lets me set up trade routes from this guild as well. For another, because if I need to move troops around later, then you can move troops freely if you have roads. If you don't have roads, which do cost a bit to make, but then it costs an awful lot to move troops into the provinces, and that's not so good. So, yeah. Bit of... yeah. I think the next thing I might want to do is actually a rule action, which means I can spend some gold for a chance to increase the level of my holdings. I can also use Regency to try and improve my chances. You can see 55%, 55%, and just 50%. I'm not sure I really want to spend any Regency on that right now.
Did
I'll
not
just see if it goes.
Did not succeed.
Okay, I improved at least the guild in Easiari. Okay, it seems. Oh, look at this.
Your turn.
Seems the Gorgon and his others are apparently fighting Tuarhevel now, our other elven allies, and Dozone actually. And in fact, Dozone has attacked the Gorgon now with a small force. They feel pretty confident, I guess, with the whole realm of Tuarhevel between them and the Gorgon. But look, Markazor invaded the south of Tuarhevel with the force. I don't think I want to declare any wars or anything like that yet. But what I might want to do is stop messing with these guys a bit. In fact, I want to be a bit stronger in about there. So I'm gonna mess with the source. No, sorry, I'm in the wrong place. Shattered Hills, not Brand's Retreat. Shattered Hills, that's... Okay, let me show you. Shattered Hills is this province in Marquezar. So I'm going to contest... I've already contested this source once. Now I'm going to try and contest it again. And if I'm successful, which I was, poofed, I destroyed a holding, so he... You see the source holding in there disappeared?
It's your
Was that
turn.
neat or what? Okay. Let's see what else. I think I will consider having my ranger also try to rule a couple holdings. Well, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about this, but I can give it a go. So the ranger can try to... Perhaps the ranger should actually instead start to set up a trade route to get to actually see that in action. Yeah, I can have my ranger do that. Jordan, the ranger will create a trade route going from Icehair, and let's make it short. Just take it straight into Brand's Retreat. It's got a 60% chance. Can you manage? Yeah.
Succeeded.
You see there's this little line here now. That means there's a trade route going here. What my wizard is going to do now is try and mess with the Gorgon a bit more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast a realm spell in the Shattered Hills. Usually, in order to attack someone, you'd have to, and move troops into their provinces, you would have to, normally you'd have to declare war and attack. I'm not going to do that, because that usually makes them very annoyed. I'm going to do something that's also going to annoy them, but possibly might not annoy them quite as much. I am going to summon a skeleton army in that Shattered Hills. So suddenly I've got a force there. Gorgon is attacking to our evil, alright. And you get to see a little bit of battle between my skeleton and Gorgon's crown, who has a mercenary infantry and a goblin infantry. Yeah. I will take control of this. I will make it an open field. I could just select answer no to the question, do you want to command this battle? I don't have to. So here you see, this is the battle. Here you see sort of a rendition of the battlefield, and this is more another rendition of the battlefield where you can easily give your orders and commands.
Onto the field, my liege.
And you just heard my general say that I need to send in some troops. And I will do that eventually. You see the enemy is advancing on the battlefield. That's not a big problem actually. You can win either by wiping out all the enemy troops once they have deployed something. If you can get everything off the field, then you've won. Or if you control more than 25% of the, sorry, if you control less than 25% of the troops on the actual field, then you will actually lose, and you will lose those troops that are on the field. So that means if you're outnumbered 4-1 on the field, then you're lost. You've lost. What I'm hoping to happen right now, by the way, is that I was hoping for this goblin to advance to the point where I could. You see, what you do is you deploy your reserves into this line, your sort of rearmost line, if you want. They can't ever actually attack your reserves. All the fighting has to go on in this field, and then everything else is just reserves, and you can deploy them where you want. There can only be each of these squares can only have one of your units and one enemy units in it. I was hoping this goblin would advance. Yes. Deploy skeletons. You can see I'm giving my orders down here. You can see up there what happens. The skeletons charge the goblins. I'm going to zoom in a bit so you get a better view. And the goblins are taking a beating. Skeletons are very tough troops, remember, and the goblins are very poor troops, really, especially these ordinary goblin infantry. The danger about these goblins, they do actually have missiles, so they can sort of throw javelins and stuff. The mercenary infantry are tougher infantry, but they don't have missiles, so I'm not quite as worried about them, actually. And they still should be a lot weaker in melee combat than my skeletons. So now you hear my general is a lot more happy with it, because if you look at the status, I have 21 troops on the field, and he only has 7 by now, so if he loses a few more... Yeah. They fled, I think they were routed, so we won. Oops, this is gonna make everything get out of sync, unfortunately. Oh, goblin infantry, goblin cavalry. If I select no, do I actually lose this battle? I'm gonna have to try and command it myself, give the orders myself. This isn't my favourite playground because you can see there's sort of a mountain in the middle here that's going to slow down movement.
It is urgent that we move our reserves into the battle region.
No, it's not urgent, that's bullshit. I can do that whenever I bloody well want to, and I want to do that once the goblins are down up here, so I can throw my skeletons straight into the fray, hopefully without having to suffer any missiles. Cavalry is advancing. Very well. Let's send in the skeletons. See how they fare against cavalry. Goblin cavalry is tougher than goblin infantry, but so far we seem to be doing alright. Yep, so far only the goblins seem to be getting it. Yeah, and the goblin cavalry was defeated. Let's see. Yeah, they were all killed. Now here, over there, you've got the goblins moving away, and the thing is, goblin cavalry, like goblin infantry, have missiles, and the skeletons, the only thing that isn't good about them is they have no missile capabilities whatsoever. They're all melee fighters. So I was yes! Excellent, the goblin charged. Uh-oh. Maybe I may have too soon shouted hooray here, because this is so slow. Movement through the mountains is just so slow, and that might just give those goblins the time to start throwing missiles at me. But no, my skeletons got there first. That means they shouldn't have any time actually to throw any spears or anything. So it's going to be melee combat, and my skeletons excel at that usually, especially against very weak troops like goblins. I'm repeating myself, aren't I? But yeah, you see what I'm saying is carried out. Those goblins are getting it. Yep, and they ran away basically. So we won. We killed their cavalry unit. Excellent, and it's now the next turn. Haha. So, well, thanks for watching. I think the next turn will be another video. So, you've seen most of what the game has to offer now, at least the basics of it. You've seen diplomacy, you've seen battle, actually now, you've seen adventures, you've seen holdings, and even seen me make a trade route. But there may yet be a few things that are necessary in an introduction. But like I said, the most important thing right now actually is I would really like some feedback on what you think of this stuff. Whether you'd like to see any, whether you'd like to see a full LP. I do realize if I'm going to make a full LP, I have to figure out some way to make possibly. Either I certainly need to make to find a way to make the in-game sound sync properly. Secondly, I suppose that battle you just saw didn't. I mean, it ran really fluently on my screen, but it didn't really run very fluently at all on the video, I'm afraid. So. I'd have to think about whether I can either make it run more fluently by some other kind of screen capture, or if not, I might have to auto-calc most of the battle results, actually. But, yeah, if there's anything particular you'd like to see in a Let's Play of this, particularly play mode, whether you'd like me to continue with a Shieldwood, or pick another realm. I do even have some mods and stuff, some save games that let me pick one of the realms that aren't really the normal player character realms. So I can actually, if you want to, try to make a little playthrough where I play, you know, one of the evil Ornshale, and I could play, I don't think I want to play the Gorgon himself, that's kind of almost too easy, but I could play the Chimeran or Five Peaks, I could play the Thorazor, these are goblin realms. I could play the big human realms like Burin, or Moriad is a lot of fun to play because it's all, like Shieldwood, just on the border of Markazar. Or I could even play as Rove Manslayer or the Spider if you'd like to see that. Or even as the city of Anwar down here, which starts with this one province. Yeah. Suggest whatever you like if you do want to see an LP of this. If you think that's completely pointless and you don't want to see an LP of this at all, tell me that as well, and I can spend my time on more worthwhile pursuits. Okay, so right now I'm just going to save again. Write my save games, and I hope to hear from you guys. Thank you.